Right, this is my third attempt at doing this video, so I'm just gonna try and stick to the bare bones because it kept ending up like 20 minutes or more long. This may be this channel's last video. We recently had this, today is June 17th. Yes, June 17th, 2025. We had ME this past weekend. And it did not go the way it normally did. Because it did not go the way it normally did, I ended up, with permission, I took over the dragon in another kingdom. And I was smart about my main castle, because all I was doing was sending her troops to the center, and then I was just going to ignore her while I focused on getting, cycling my other castles through. I've got 13 castles in total. So I parked her off the Black Lands. But part of the whole point of taking over a dragon is so that I can send full marches and get this event done quickly, cycle through the castles quickly. So my other castles, as I took them to the other kingdom, were parked in the Blacklands. And again, I had their permission to do this. They had over 6 hours total occupation time. They were good. They were going to have their, they were going to be rulers, and me taking their dragon didn't affect them at all. So this was agreed. It was in the battle chat. Castles in the Blackland were not to be attacked, and I had their permission to hold the dragon. Well, this is in the second half. I was fuzzy-brained because this event starts at 3 in the morning for me. I got up shortly before 3, logged on, sent one of my castles to join the alliance that was chosen to rule this time. Sent my troops to the altar and then crashed again so quickly that I missed the directions about which altar I was supposed to go to. And then woke up again just before 9 so that I could take the altar my alliance was assigned for the second half. And then I can't remember if I don't remember if I went back to sleep again for a little bit or not. I think I did end up getting up then, because my things had gone wrong and my kingdom hadn't reset the dragon, and so I had to figure out how to get my castles done, and I ended up going to the other kingdom, and now we're back to where I was. The fact that I was doing this and I had permission. Let me see. I don't want to trip up, get yelled at for cussing. It was Kingdom 158. And let's look at the alliance info. No. Oh, I suppose that one works. Yeah. Okay, so where is she? This one is the one I was talking to before I took their dragon. And I can't remember. I think she was the one who said it was okay, but maybe not. I want to say there was somebody else as well, but I can't remember who it was. I suck at remembering this sort of thing. But anyway, I had permission. I did that, but I was fuzzy headed from sleep. I was monitoring 2 different kingdoms. Keeping an eye, make sure nobody big was attacking the altar in K179, while also cycling my castles through K158, I think this is, to get their points and everything. And then, in fact, my tiniest castles, my cannon fodder, I had to cycle back, take back to K179, heal the troops in the Alliance Infirmary, and then send them back to try and get them as many points as possible. They only have T7s, so they go through a lot of troops in this event. But they usually make up for it. We rebuild them in fast comeback. That's the point of it. Anyway, so I was not fully paying attention. At some point, Terra, my biggest castle, got kicked out of the dragon. No biggie. Wow, and they did it in one hit too. I was fairly impressed. And And so, you know, I had to pause in what I was doing because if, okay, K158, me, an invader from another kingdom, took their dragon. When they kicked me out of their dragon, that automatically started a 30-minute shield. During that 30-minute shield, people from other kingdoms could not attack their dragon. Other people in their kingdom could, but nobody from another kingdom. What was really odd to me was when I got back there and oh yeah, there's that shield I can't attack, but wait, there's nobody in there. Why isn't there anybody in there? When the shield dropped, since I still had several castles to go through, I sent Terra back and brought more castles to 158 and was working on those. But again, I had other things going on. In fact, this was about the time I believe I started joking around with, sorry, one of the alliance info. I started joking around with Beheader. Trojan Horse knocked Terra out of the center again. And again, just left it. But at that point, there was the shield was going to drop about 1 minute before the event ended. And for some reason, Rucus, one of our players, I don't know if it's just because they're so powerful or if, as far as I know, we haven't had any complaints about him actually violating the agreements about the, 1,000 troops, no heroes. But he tends to clear out altars. And so he'd accidentally cleared a number of them, and I guess they gave up because they left the altars. And so then there was nothing I could do. So I started bringing, brought Terra back home to K179, and I had her take the Western Altar. And then I was going to have my other castles leave the alliance and join a different alliance so that they could attack the Western Altar and get their points quickly, since we were almost out of time. But when I put this castle, Kilo, this is Paxton Kilo, by the altar, and before sending the attacks, I decided to check and see how many points she still needed. So, I came here and I started hitting the claim button, and hitting the claim button, and hitting the claim button. And as you can see, I ended up with 74,000 points. Now, on the one hand, you might think, oh yeah, that's great. Because it did rank me first. So nice, some more Jaeger frags, a nice $10,000 diamond bonus. The problem is why I got it. Despite the fact that it had been spelled out a number of times in the battle chat that castles on the Blacklands were safe, and despite the fact that I had their full permission to be holding the dragon, apparently Trojan Horse was too effing lazy to check. They hopped on, saw my castles, and attacked. And unfortunately, once you're defeated, your castle is moved. But prior to that, they can hit you and hit you. So I got hit 3-4 times. I accidentally deleted one of these reports when I deleted the infirmary reports, because those are so flippin' annoying. But this castle lost 9.7 million troops. And I can't prove that because I don't have all the reports, but if you take that 74,000, subtract the 2,000 occupation points, and then divide that by 30, because she mostly has T9s, that gives you a better number. It still won't be accurate because she actually had 2.5 million T1 catapults, and now she's down to 620,000. So a little under 2 million gone. But yeah, you start to get the idea. And what's really fun is, it's not so obvious here. I'll go ahead and switch to, because she wasn't the only one. Paxton Mega also was on the Blacklands, because I was trying to get them. March times in Military Conquest are just ridiculous. So parking in the black lines is just so much easier. Pax and Mega also got hit 3 times. Won twice and then got defeated. And actually, I keep forgetting that. She lost a little over 6 million troops, or about 6 million troops. And this is her entire fast comeback allowance. That will allow me to train 60,000 troops. She started off with, and this isn't entirely accurate because it doesn't count what was already in the infirmaries. But 9.2 million. And despite the healing I've done, 3.1, I can still get, 432 here. I'll double that, so a little, about another million there, and then this castle ended up with 100,000 in the Alliance Infirmary. So I'll recover a little over 1 million. But that's still, I've lost half my troops. And because I generally only train 10,000 a day, 250 of each type, or 2,500 of each type. And I didn't learn the fast comeback trick until about 1.5 years ago. And I don't do it every time because I've got too many castles to deal with it every time. We're talking at least 2 years worth of troops gone. Even though I was following the agreements made with that kingdom. Because Trojan Horse was too effing lazy to check. And that was bad enough. But on the other hand, as I pointed out in my Lost City video about why I attacked the level 7 city, they're troops. I mean, it was a little less painful in Lost City because I got back 80% of them when that infirmary closed, but still, it's whatever. And I did get, you can see I got a shit ton of resources, the relief goods, 276 million food here. Whoops. I think Kilo got over 300 million. And the others. The lack of the fast comeback really kind of sucks. But again, it's a game, whatever. What's causing me to do this video and talking about stepping away from the game and not doing videos for a while because I won't be playing the game is the lack of response from anybody. I've been playing this game for almost 5 years now. This kingdom has been open for almost 2 years. We'll be celebrating our anniversary in August. And yet, even though I spoke out about my losses in the kingdom chat and the alliance chat, I received one message from another player, and that was just asking me who attacked me. When I told them it was somebody in another kingdom, I haven't heard back from them since. There are people in my alliance that have followed me through 3 different kingdoms. They've known me for 4 years. In fact, I've got one player, though I don't know if he doesn't play as much, so he could totally have missed it, who's been on 5 years. I've known him since K72. And I haven't gotten a single message. And that, I have kept playing over all these years for the people. The game gets to be a drag sometimes. And ever since Second Name got added to the loading screen, it's not just 37 games anymore. It says something else as well. And ever since that happened, they become more and more money hungry and cramming all these events in. And so it's gotten even more confusing. And it was never that easy, simple a game to begin with. But I've kept playing for the people. I did have some issues in K85. That was part of why I started in this kingdom, why I started this YouTube channel. And it had helped for a little while. But now I'm wondering what the point is. I was doing it for the people, and the people don't seem to care. And it's not just about this. I don't get a lot of engagement on these videos. You know, I have occasionally gotten the occasional Discord message. Oh yeah, I've seen your videos; they're great. And but people don't tend to really comment on the videos. I don't get the likes, which, you know, on the one hand I don't necessarily care about, but on the other hand, engagement is what drives it to show up in search results. I did get a nice spike during Lost City, but as soon as Lost City was over, that ended. And again, even during that spike, thousands of views, nobody was commenting, nobody was liking videos, and even outside of that in the game, I routinely, you know, I run all these castles, and when we do well in Alliance Showdown, it's mainly because most of my castles are only do 240 point quests. And so I'll often have 5 or more castles in the top 10 with maximum points. And nobody says, "Oh, congratulations." Or, you know, you know, thanks for getting that done. Banner Brawl, we often are ranked first, because I'm the one who analyzes each battle round and makes the changes and all that, and nobody says thank you if I participate in the gate. Even if it's just my castles in the gate, I run 8 castles for the gate, and can normally get 15 million point level done for basically no gratitude or anything. And I'm just I have my own health problems, and it just keeps getting worse. And so yeah, I'm gonna be a whiny little bitch. Damn it, I was trying so hard not to curse. I hope nobody complains to YouTube about that. I'm gonna be a whiny little twit. And I'm gonna step back from the game for a while, and so that definitely means I won't be doing YouTube videos either. I do hope to still do one for Fire and Ice. I keep meaning to get that one up, and I also I had been working on one for 2 factions fighting over a city in Lost City. So maybe I'll get those done. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. If I do eventually return to the game and return to this channel, then I'll delete this video. But until then, have fun and good luck, guys.